And so on Friday, the 5th of July 2024, the federal government of Nigeria launched the National Resettlement Scheme for persons impacted by conflict to address the humanitarian crisis caused by internal displacements across Nigeria.
The project marks a shift in the government's approach to internal displacement and conflict resolution, and the commitment by President Tinubu to not just temporary relief, but long-term rehabilitation and reintegration of affected communities.
Absolutely. Now, the pilot phase of the project and groundbreaking was in Tudumbiri, Kaduna State. And of course, I'm sure, Henry, you remember that, of course, the incident that, took place in Tudumbiri in Kaduna State, probably that's why, this pilot phase, is being launched there. I'm sure you remember.
Of course, this is, relief, if you like, succor for the people in that particular community. And the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, who represented President Tinubu at that groundbreaking, I remember said, and I quote, there couldn't have been a better place for the takeoff of this intervention than this diverse state.
And according to the president, again, we are quoting, Kaduna State has offered the federal government a launch pad to venture into the communities dislodged by conflict. Now, earlier, a steering committee to coordinate the implementation of the initiative in fulfillment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's promise to improve the lives of all Nigerians.
The resettlement project focuses on 7 states, pilot states, and they have been disproportionately affected by farmers' herders' conflicts. They are Sokoto, Kebbi, Benue, Katsina, Zamfara, Niger, and Kaduna states.
Indeed, and so this will be our guide as we focus on critical aspect of Nigeria's quest for peace and stability, the National Resettlement Scheme for Conflict Victims.
From the northeast to the northwest, from the middle belt to the south, millions of Nigerians have been forced to flee their homes, leaving behind loved ones, livelihoods, and a sense of security.
So, what does the future hold for those conflict victims? Will they find solace in the promised reconstruction efforts, or will the scars of war and displacement linger? I do invite you to join us as we look into the world of conflict victims, exploring the challenges they face, the government's response, and the prospects for a durable solution. We will also hear from policymakers, experts in the field, and they'll be examining the progress made so far under the Tinubu administration to heal wounds and rebuild displaced lives. Welcome to the program. I am Claire Adelabu Abdul-Razak.
It hasn't changed. Good to be with you, Claire. I'm Henry John. Welcome to the program. This is Good Morning Nigeria, live on the network service of the NTA. In a moment, Chukwudi Okulubaja, and like Claire prefers to call him, Chooks the Boy, will join us for newspaper review. But for now, let's have a bit of what is trending in the news. And our guide is Frama Pine. Frama, good morning to you.
Good morning, Henry. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Nigerians. Here is the morning news. The federal government is appealing to state governments to ensure effective distribution of the latest set of palliatives of 740 trucks of rice now in their possession. This plea emanated from the meeting of the Federal Executive Council on Monday as the federal government pays attention to the food shortage across the country.
Government is not saying that by this supply it is solving all the food challenges or the food problems that we have around the country. This is a necessary first step, and government will continue in that direction. Government will continue to do whatever it takes to ensure that Nigerians have enough food to eat.
Meanwhile, the federal government has assured that the success and positive impact of the National Philanthropic Office is guaranteed under the Tinubu administration. This is coming as the initiative met with 4 partners in the federal government's effort to support industrial value chain hubs and accelerators for startups and small businesses in Nigeria. The NPO is an initiative driven 100% by the private sector with full support from the government, is part of efforts by the Tinubu-led federal government to raise alternative funding for small and medium-sized enterprises and other vital economic programs through collaboration with the private sector.
And look for credible partners to help us on this journey. So these are the first set of partners, and after this we hope to sign the next set of MOU. But by and large, what I've done here today, the next step is to start seeing a skeletal process of implementation.
And we hope that through these partnerships we'll be able to unlock catalytic financing for MSMEs, we'll be able to unlock skills and capacity building.
Now, in line with the international initiative of protecting the right to education during conflict, the National Human Rights Commission is making a push for Nigeria to have a legislation in place on Safe Schools Declaration.
Ensuring students' access to safe education is crucial, particularly now when bandits, kidnappers simply walk into schools, abduct students without any resistance from school authorities or security operatives.
Any society that relegates education to the background does so at the risk of its own peril.
Now, the House of Representatives says it is working at utilizing information and communication technology, ICT, in receiving and processing public petitions. Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, stated this while opening a digitalized hearing room of the Public Accounts Committee.
Updating our technological capabilities, we aim to set a benchmark in legislative excellence and responsiveness to the needs of the Nigerian people.
But these laptops are quite a whole lot of rich resources, including the laws of the Federation, all the establishment acts.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the reinstatement of Professor Neni Barini Zawe as the project coordinator of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HIREP. The president reached the decision following a performance review of the HIREP project coordinator and concluded that the project coordinator is fit to discharge his functions in accordance with the regulations guiding the execution of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HIREP. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ingilale, indicates that by this directive of the President, the reinstatement of the HIREP project coordinator takes immediate effect. Kano State High Court has granted the prayer of the State Attorney General and other parties seeking to restrain Emir Aminu Ado Bayero and 4 others from presenting themselves as emirs in the case before Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu of Kano State High Court between the State Attorney General, Kano State House of Assembly and its Speaker against the 5 deposed emirs and others. In its judgment, the court affirmed that Kano State House of Assembly has the power to amend or make laws and Governor has the power to assent to the law. The court also granted that the emirs are deposed and therefore are ordered not to present themselves as emirs, that they should also surrender all movable and immovable properties that belong to the emirate councils to Kano State government. The court also ordered all security agencies in the state to respect and abide by the Kano Emirate Council Repeal Law 2024 and ensure its compliance. Those are the highlights of the news this morning. Don't go away. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Yenri and Claire after this commercial break.